Okay, moving on here. What is the first step to the order of operations involving decimals and fractions? So we're going to solve expressions within the parentheses and follow the order of operations. I'm going to give you all the steps, all 4 steps here. So order of operations, and that include decimals and fractions. All right. So for this example, we're gonna start off with -10 and 2/10 times 3 wholes with a fractional of 2/8 divided by 3/5 to the second power. All right. So the first step here would be to clear the parentheses. All right, we have 3/5 in parentheses. And what we could do is decimal to fraction, or in this case, fraction to decimal. So let's rewrite everything as is, and let's find the decimal form of 3/5. Well, 5 goes into 3 how many times? Well, 0 times. So 0 times 5, that'll give us 0. And 3 minus 0 will just give us 3. Alright, now we can borrow, alright, from the right side of the decimal, place a 0 here, and now we have 30. 5 goes into 36 times, 6 times 30, well, that'll give us 30, and 30 minus 30 will give us 0. So ultimately what this is stating here is that 3/5 is 6/10. Okay, so now we have 6/10 to the second power. Okay, what we're going to do here is, let's make some space, and we're going to do 6/10 times 6/10. So 6 times 6, well, that's 36. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3, 36. And for the next column, 6 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0. And when we add everything together, we're left with 0, we're left with 36. Okay, now we're going to count the decimal place values on the right side of the decimal point, and that'll determine decimal placement here. So we have 1 each here. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. So in total we have 2 jumps. So 1 place value jumps from right to left each. So 1 plus 1, that'll give us 2 jumps. So we take care of our nice 36 here, and what we do is we jump twice. 1, 2. So we're left with 0.36 hundredths. Perfect. Now let's move on here. So we just cleared the exponents here, right? Rewriting it as -10 and 2/10 times 3 wholes as a fractional, with a fractional 2/8 divided by 0.36, or 36 hundredths. So now let's convert this mixed number into a decimal. All right, 3 times 8, well, that'll give us 24. 24 plus 2, that'll give us 26, and we simply rewrite the denominator, which is 8. So 26/8. Now let's go ahead here and do some long division and see how many times 8 goes into 26. Make you some space here. Cool. Okay, so 8 goes into 26 3 times. All right, 3 times 8, that'll be 24, and 26 minus 24, excuse me, will give us 2. So now let's place a decimal point right next to our 1's value on the 26 and borrow from the right side of the decimal point. And we're also going to rewrite in the exact same location, where we place our decimal point on our dividend on our quotient side. There we go. Perfect. Now we bring down a 0. Now we're left with 20. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. And now 20 minus 16 is 4. Repeat the process. Let's go ahead and borrow 0. Drop down to 0. And that'll give us 40. 8 goes into 40. 5 times. 5 times 8. Well, that's 40. And 40 minus 40 is 0. So we can state here that 3 wholes with a fraction of 2 over 8 is equivalent to 3 and 25 hundredths. So now we have decimal form. Let's rewrite our statement here. Negative 10 and 2/10 times 3 and 25 hundredths divided by 0.36 hundredths. All right. So now we go from left to right, and we're going to begin multiplying negative 10 and 2/10 by 3 and a quarter. All right, so 10 times 2, 10 and 2/10 times 3 and a quarter. Well, 2 times 5, that's 10. Carry the 1 over. 0 times 5 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Moving on to our second column there, we have 2 times 2. Well, that's 4. 2 times 0 is 0. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Moving on to our third column there, 3 times 2 is 6. 0 times 3 is 0. And 3 times 1 is 3. All right, now let's make a little space here so we can add nice and comfortably here. Perfect. All right, 0. Here we go. It gets dropped down. 1 plus 4, but that'll give us 5. 5 plus 6, that'll give us 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and the 3 just simply drops. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to count the place values here. We have 2 decimal place. Well, we have 1 decimal place value, and then we have 2 more in our second factor. So 1 plus 2, well, that'll give us 3 jumps from right to left. 1, 2, 3, and what we're left with is 33 and 15 hundredths. Here we go. Let's make some space here. Clear everything. All right. Now let's not forget the negative sign when we go down. Okay. So moving on, when we rewrite this statement, it'll be negative 33 and 15 hundredths divided by 0.36 hundredths. Now let's do some long division here, right? All right. First steps first, we're going to jump two values to make our divisor a whole value. And what we're going to do to our divisor, we're also going to do to our dividend. And then we're going to place the new place value on the quotient side of our dividend, as you can see. So now what we have here is 36 wholes. Next, our dividend will be 3,015. And our decimal point right over here on the quotient side. Bring this up here. Perfect. All right, 36 times 9. Well, 6 times 9, that'll give us 54. 3 times 9, that'll give us 27. 27 plus 5 is 32. So we can say that 36 can go into 331 9 times. Okay, 9 times 36 is 324, and 331 minus 324 will give us 7. Let's drop down to 5. 36 goes into 75 twice, 2 times, giving us 72. Okay, 75 minus 72 will give us 3. All right, and now this is when we start borrowing from the right side of the decimal here. Let's place a 0 over here. Drop it down, we have 30. Still not enough, so we're going to say 36 goes into 30 0 times. Let's not forget to place a 0 on the quotient side there. And now we can borrow another 0 and drop that down. All right, how many times does 36 go into 300? Let's see here. I believe 36 can go into 300 at least 8 times here. 6 times 8, well, that'll give us 48. 3 times 8, 24, plus 8, plus 4, excuse me, gives us 28. And we move on and we subtract 288 from 300 here. Let's not forget to place the 8 on our quotient side here. I guess we're going to go straight into 300 minus 288. That'll give us 12. Let's not forget to put the 8 up here on top of our quotient here. Perfect. All right. And now we're set up to borrow our third 0 here. So we have our third 0 dropping down. We have 120 now. And 36 can go into 120 at least 3 times. Here we have here 36 times 3. So what's 36 times 3? That's 108. All right. 120 minus 108. That'll give us 12. Okay. Make some space here. Drop down another 0. Borrow another 0. And we're given our second 120. 36 goes into our 120 3 times. 3 times 36, well, that's 108. And 120 minus 108 is 12. So we can already see a pattern here. Let's borrow another 0 here. Drop down this 0. All right, 36 goes into 120. 3 times 36, that's 108. And 120 minus 108 will give us our fourth 12 here. Here we go. 120 minus 8. All right. Let's not forget the negative sign on the negative 10.2 in the original quotient. All right. So now we have here 12. And, just for the sake of it, let's write our 7 zeros here, just to stay a little organized. And let's finalize it with one more 0 just to see the pattern, right? So we have our 1, 2, 3, or 6 0 going down, giving us 120. 36 goes into this 120. 3 times 6 is 108. And 120 minus 108 will give us another 12. So we can already see that there's a pattern here. All right, it's just going to keep going on. The 3's are just going to be endless at this point. Let's not forget the negatives once again. All right, so negative 33 and 1500s divided by 3600s equals negative 92.083333333333333333333. And that's a kind of a combination of the last two assessments, with decimals to fractions, fractions to decimals, repeated decimals,